Hi everyone. Today I have the fabulous Norelle Hentschel with us from Your Remedy. She is a naturopath and a herbalist and has her clinic in Crow's Nest in North Sydney. Norelle has a special interest in helping women improve their sleep and manage stress and anxiety levels so that they can reclaim their health and energy back. And so today we are talking all things sleep. So thanks for joining me today, Norelle.
My pleasure, Chantel. Lovely to be here.
Excellent. Well, I don't know any woman, mother, person, human who doesn't want to have good sleep. So I think we're in great company today.
Yes.
So before we dive into all things sleep, let's just have a quick intro for yourself. Tell us a little about into your journey about natural health and what prompted your passion for sleep.
Okay. Well, I first got into naturopathy in 2008. So before that, I was in the events and performing arts industry. So that was actually quite a high stress kind of environment. And I realised it wasn't sustainable. And I'd always had a bit of an interest in natural health. So I transitioned and I was in Brisbane. I'm a Brisbane girl.
Yeah.
Years ago I moved to Sydney and I've been practicing on the North Shore ever since with my clinic. I first became interested in sleep because I had a close family member who suddenly died.
Yeah.
And it was obviously very traumatic at the time. Yeah. And lots of grieving, but I think I'm one of those people who's kind of like the duck that's, on the water and looking really serene but paddling hard underneath. After that happened, I was really doing that and I became quite anxious and irritable. I put on quite a bit of weight and I wasn't sleeping well. And that really, it was the sleep actually that, made me kind of go, hang on, I need to, really look further into this. And so that really did spark my interest in sleep, not sleeping well myself.
Isn't that amazing? It always takes a bit of a personal journey to find our path or our purpose. Definitely. And I love that because you're walking the walk from a place of compassion.
Yes, it's always good to know how your clients understand, when they come in and say, oh, I haven't slept, it's really, so yes, I know what that feels like.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, so we definitely know that sleep is pivotal to our health and is required, but what's the definition actually of a good night's sleep? Like what defines good sleep?
Okay, well, what I like to say is it's sort of how you feel during the day. So it's not so much about how you feel at night. A good sleep.
Oh, and interesting.
It's about how you're feeling during the day. So during the day, you should feel like you've got energy. Your focus and concentration should be pretty good. You shouldn't be getting mood swings or your appetite should be, quite, not wanting to eat all the sugar everywhere. This is provided your diet's pretty good as well. So all those things you should really be able to have, get through your day with plenty of energy, maybe just a slight dip in the afternoon. That's pretty normal for most of us. A little bit of a dip around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But you shouldn't feel like, oh, I need 6 cups of coffee to get me through my day or lots of sugar or stuff like that. So, that's how I define a good night's sleep. Okay. I say to people, how are you going in your day? How's your day? Are you able to, feel like you're not pushing yourself hard?
And is there a preferred number of hours of sleep that's needed in the night?
Well, this is a really a lot of debate, and I guess we'd all like a simple answer, but the research shows that for the majority of us, it's the sweet spot for sleep is between 7 and 9 hours a night.
Okay.
I'm always very skeptical of people who come and say, no, I only need 6. And I sort of think,
I don't function on 6.
I'm not thriving on 6.
Yeah.
There are some outliers, apparently someone like Winston Churchill only needed 4 hours sleep a night.
Gee whiz,
Yeah, and you've got at the other end Roger Federer, the tennis player. He likes to get around 11 hours sleep a night too. So he's actually probably on the other end. So if you're getting between the 7 and 9 hours,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
what research
Cool.
tells us is the
Yeah, so something between 7 and 9, which I think is achievable and manageable, you know. So cool.
Definitely.
And so if we're not getting a good night's sleep, then what are some of the factors that's affecting that for women, and potentially even some, you know, some mothers will say, I'm not sleeping because my child's not sleeping. So maybe first we look at mums and then the children.
Yeah, well, mums are a tough one, especially if they're, you know, with, you know, babies and, you know, toddlers and teens. It's more the problem of getting them out of bed.
I get them out of the bed. There's so much brain development, isn't it, that they just want to sleep. Yeah.
So mums are in themselves, well, in terms of women, we're really affected by our hormones and hormones and sleep, and even just like in this, women will sleep better in the second half of their menstrual cycle, which is called the luteal phase.
Okay.
But that's because progesterone comes in after you ovulate, and that progesterone actually is really calming in the brain. It's, you know, it's got a lot of different functions in the body, and one of them is actually anti-anxiety. So you tend to, especially if you're someone who does suffer from a little bit of, you know, being a little bit wired or anxious, the second half of your cycle you can notice you can sleep a little bit better. So it will depend on the balance. If women's hormones are out of this, generally they may have problems with sleep. Obviously, new mothers, well, you know, for themselves,
goes without saying.
Having a baby is actually a very stressful event for them physically and, you know, emotionally. There's so many changes that are going on and things, but just from a nutrient perspective, women can often be quite depleted because, you know, the baby's been getting all the nutrients, and then, you know, if they're breastfeeding as well, they're, you know, having to produce milk and nutrients for the baby as well. So it can leave them quite depleted, especially in iron, and iron can be one that can interfere with sleep. And if they've had any hemorrhaging during the birth or stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's a good one if you're feeling really fatigued and that, you know, postpartum, to get your iron levels checked. And I think most doctors, you know, would do
that anyway. But it's a good check just to have anyway. Yeah.
I actually say to my new mothers that I see to actually keep them on their pregnancy multi for the first 6 months after, just to give them the extra nutrients they need. And also to just be aware that, you know, it is a big change in their life, and not to feel like they have to do everything and be everything. And if someone offers to give you a hand or cook some food or that, say yes, please.
Take it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because it is a big adjustment on the body and that. So
and not to mention also probably all the hormone changes that's happening.
Definitely.
You know, so there's so many factors going to be involved.
I
know. Story of my life.
We're at the mercy of our hormones, and, you know, having good hormone balance actually helps, you know, a lot of things, but sleep is definitely one of them.
Sure.
So then mothers, you know, obviously, you know, having a new baby and having to get up to, you know, feed during the night and all that, because when baby's born, a lot of people don't realise, but they don't actually have what's called a circadian rhythm. Like we have. Our circadian rhythm means we're sort of awake during the day, you know, for most of us, and then we sleep at night. So babies haven't yet developed that. Actually kick in till at around 4 months, between 4 and 5 months.
Oh, okay. So that late,
and it's actually good. I always tell my expecting mothers to just sort of be aware of that, so that you can kind of almost plan that, you know, okay, that sleep is potentially going to be an issue. And I think it's good to have a strategy in place with a partner or with a family member, how much sleep you're getting, and actually, you know, look at sort of doing things, either expressing stuff so the partner can, you know, feed some overnight feeds, just so that the mother can catch up a little bit on sleep as well and not be totally exhausted
and depleted.
So because as we know, sleep impacts on so many other things. So it can really, you know, your mood can go down, and it's not what you want at that time, you know, when you've been dealing with a lot of new things in your life anyway. So
absolutely.
And then there's, you know, the other end of the spectrum with mothers sort of having children a little bit later in their lives. So they might young families and be starting to actually go through perimenopause transition.
Oh, goodness me, yeah.
Yeah, so when you hit your sort of mid-40s, depending on, you know, it's a
Mm.
bit for every woman when they start to go through it. But the hormone, you start to, you know, not have as much estrogen and progesterone, and then that can really influence the sleep and that as well, getting some night sweats and those
Yeah.
kinds of things. So, yes, the good old hormones.
Awesome. So not only are you dealing with sleep deprivation, but maybe you're dealing with all the hormone changes too.
And then there's also the fact of, you know, you might be able to sleep well, but you may have a child that's, for whatever reason, is not sleeping well. So if, you know, most of the time with mothers, if the child's not sleeping well, the mother's not sleeping well, you know.
Yeah.
So that can be just simply because they've got an illness, which could be a short-term thing, you know, cold or a flu or a little bit of a fever. It can be if they suffer with allergies, that can interfere with child's sleep. So they can be allergies as in environmental allergies, and, you know, lead to eczema or asthma or things like that. And a lot of, in children, night asthma, like they can tend to go towards that sort of thing. The other thing is more intolerances. So, and that's not so much where you're having a full-on allergic reaction to a food, but it might be a food additive or different types of food groups that, you know, for whatever reason, they just don't tolerate very well. So that's sort of where you have to, you know, kind of work with someone and put on the detective hat and sort of go, okay, what could be going on with this? And another really common one is actually parasites or thread.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, that's one of the first things I sort of get, you know, parents to investigate if they say, you know, their child, it's just like, is it possible, you know, it could have, you know, threadworms, you know, quite common if you've got pets, you know, if your child's in daycare or, you know, even at school, you know, pick up things like that all going around because they're all hand hygienes.
So would you say that would be one of the first things for them to look out for if the child is not?
It's quite common for, you know, kids on those.
I mean, parasites are just, you know, everything. Obviously, I have an interest in gut health, and everything comes back to the gut. But I wouldn't have put that association together. So.
Well, because then, you know, threadworms especially, because they come out at night and, you know, can start to, you know, irritate. And one thing that I've seen as a symptom, which is a little bit weird, is if kids complain of really itchy, burning feet, and they're waking them up. Yeah, that's it's been a couple.
I'm loving this, learning so many new things today.
I don't know why that is, but so it's definitely worth.
Yeah.
The other thing with children is also anxiety. They can, you know, suffer from anxiety. They may, you know, be issues with their peer group at school, bullying or stuff like that, or you know, just general if there's other tensions going on. So that's, you know, another thing to be aware of if there's kind of, you know, And sometimes I had my godson, for example, was when he was young, he was getting quite the news, you know, it was he was quite sensitive to some of the stuff that was on, you know. The news was like, oh, let's stop him watching news at night. And he'll feel like that's probably good advice for all of us, actually.
Yeah, I know. I think I last about 2 minutes, so I'm like, it's not what I want to go to bed with. The last thoughts in my mind. Cool. So those are all the factors to look out for, or that can hinder a good sleep. So what can we do to improve sleep or try to at least ensure a good night's sleep?
Okay, well, my first one is I say to people, prioritise it. You know, if you're not going to get a good night's sleep if you're actually not making time to go to bed. And I think for us big people, we can often, you know, think, oh, we'll just do this and we'll do that and we've got to get all this done. But you sort of think, would you let your child, you know, kind of stay up that late and expect that they weren't going to be a real grumpy the next day? And it's a little bit like, you know, you've got to do that for yourself. So certainly making sure you make time, and even to the point of thinking of yourself, well, this is my bedtime. And the other thing I like people to do is actually develop a bit of a wind down routine. Because a lot of the reason when people tell me, oh, I get into bed and then I feel really awake and I can't go to sleep for an hour and my mind's racing, because that's actually the first time they've allowed themselves to kind of stop during the day. And so, of course, the brain's just going, great, now we can start thinking about all this stuff. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge sort of thing. Some ideas might be just writing a to-do list, a simple to-do list. For what
get it out of your head. Let your brain let it go.
Yeah, definitely. Get it out of your head. Or you could journal if you've sort of got some, you want to kind of go into things a bit more. That can be, quite good if you're working through various different things. It can be as simple as just having a routine of, making yourself a nice cup of sleepy tea, getting the lights down. Lights are a big one. And that would be my next thing to say is, get off your phones, get off your iPads, your laptop, at least an hour before you want to go to bed.
An hour. All right. Yeah. And do you think those sunglass things that I've seen people wearing them, are they?
Look, they will. Most people probably feel a bit weird doing it.
Yeah, I know.
Look, they do block the blue light. So it's the blue light that actually interferes with melatonin. And melatonin is your vampire hormone or hormone of darkness. It comes out at night and it actually helps you sleep. So by having the screens, you're actually kind of telling your body, oh, it's still daylight. Because So look, they have put in things to do the yellow screens and all that.
Yeah.
And that's good. If you, for some reason, you really need to, you may have a job where you need to call someone over, in Europe or something like that. Yeah. But for most of us, let's be honest, we're just messing around.
We're just messing around, just trying to see what everyone else is doing.
And the other thing that does is it kind of stimulates your mind. So you kind of go, oh, look at what that person's doing. Or, oh, my God, that's such horrible news where that bombing happened here. And so suddenly your mind gets, fired up, about things stimulated. So it's not going into that relaxing kind of mode. So that's the main reason I sort of say to people, because it's like, it's about you winding down and getting to sleep, not worrying about what, your friends are doing and stuff like that. So,
And is there any food that can impact the quality of our sleep? Is there any foods that we should be avoiding before going to bed? Or
I think most of us know that caffeine is don't have a cup of coffee, but caffeine actually has a half-life of around 8 hours, and if you're on the oral contraceptive pill, that half-life is actually a lot longer. So if you have a coffee at midday, you are still going to be breaking that down at 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So I say to people, certainly if you're having trouble with your sleep, kind of have your caffeine definitely before midday. So, I have no problem with people having a cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
I love my cup of tea. Yeah. But, if you are having problems with sleep, really be aware of it. And the thing that it's often in is people have their after dinner chocolate. Yes. Sorry, I've just got a...
That's all right.
A nasty little update come on my screen.
I can't see anything, so all good. All good on my side. Yeah.
Well, it's just weird if I'm talking to a Microsoft update. Definitely the chocolate is one to be avoided. Alcohol is also can interfere. Now, alcohol will help you go to sleep. So a lot of people use it like that. It's actually one of the most common self-prescribed ways.
That little nightcap.
Yeah. So, but what it does is it interferes with the quality of your sleep. So you won't get that deep, refreshing sleep. And you probably, might notice if you've, most people probably can have one glass of wine, say, and feel okay. But if they have more, they may kind of notice, I didn't quite sleep so well. So, again, if you're having problems with your sleep, I kind of say, avoid it, altogether.
Sure.
3 hours before you want to go to sleep. So if you want to go to sleep at 10 o'clock, you need to have finished your drink by
about 7ish. Yeah, fair enough. So yes, there's lots of practical things that we can do to help improve our sleep. And the awesome thing is a lot of that's actually in our control. So
very much,
and so excellent. And so what is your message that you'd like to get out to the world, Norelle?
Well, I want everyone to make sleep their superpower so that, that we have the energy and vitality to be, the best version of ourselves. Because when we don't sleep, we're not often the best version of who we are on so many levels. So I really want people to prioritize that sleep and, make it a precious thing that, that we do, and we, maintain as much as we possibly can, with all other factors,
Absolutely, because you think about it, it's almost setting your intention for the day, how you wake up in the morning after a good. You could almost predict how the rest of this day is going to go based on the sleep and how you feel first thing in the morning. And there's nothing better than waking up refreshed and bouncing out of bed and ready to tackle the day. So I love that message.
Yeah, no, it's I'm totally passionate about it. I love my sleep.
Yeah, I know. My kid's old. I'm loving it too. Nothing gets in between me and my sleep. Like I've done my sleep deprivation days. Now it's I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah, when you've gone through it.
I mean, you do expect, it goes with the territory, and then there gets to a point in time when you're like, okay, this needs to stop. Yeah. Awesome. And so how can people find you, Norelle?
Well, they can find me on Instagram. If you're like Instagram, I've got Your Sleep Remedy is my special sleep account that's got sleep tips and research.
Okay. I'll put all these in the show notes.
Yeah. I'm also on Facebook at Your Remedy Naturopathy. If people want to give me a call, I love having a chat. I'm a bit old school, so I love having a chat on the phone.
Yes.
So the mobile number is 0439 660 064, and you can also drop me an email, of course. So Norelle at yourremedy.com.au. So if you've got any questions about sleep,
well, thank you so much for that. I learned lots of new things to look out for.
Fantastic.
And I'm sure all our listeners will too. So thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule today. And I will get all that contact detail on the show notes. And you have yourself an amazing day.
Lovely. Thanks, Chantal.
Thank you. Bye.